Hello and welcome back. The aim of this video is to give a formal definition for context-free grammars. We have already seen one example of a context-free grammar, which was something like this. We had an E. We had the rules E can become A, E, B, or E can become epsilon. That is the context-free grammar that we saw. So we call these two production rules. So these two are our production rules, or productions as some people call it. So these two are our rules, and we said that E is a non-terminal symbol because it can go to some other symbols right here, and A and B are our um, terminal symbols, and that's pretty much what a context-free grammar is. So a context-free grammar is defined by a four tuple, which is the first one would be the set of terminal symbols, which in our case is the set A comma B, so A comma B. The next thing is a set of non-terminal symbols, so in our case N is just E. And the third thing is our production rules. So our production rules, and we have these two production rules at the top, and we just need one more thing to completely define a context-free grammar, which is the start symbol. So we have our start symbol. In our case it is an E. So this is actually the start symbol. This should be represented by S. So in our case S is E, and that's what defines a context-free grammar. But let's just look at something about production rules. So we need to formally define production rules. So production rules are just a function from our non-terminal symbol. So on the left side would be, so I had something like this. So on the left side it would be just one non-terminal symbol. So I've replaced my E with an S here. We usually use S for this, and remember that we normally use uppercase alphabets for our non-terminal symbols. So the left side of a production rule would be a single non-terminal symbol, and the right side would be a string which can be made up of non-terminal symbols or terminal symbols. So I have this right here, and let me get rid of this. So the string that I've said is non-terminal symbols union terminal symbols and a star of that. So that is the right side of my production rule. So a production rule is a function from a single non-terminal symbol to a string of non-terminal and terminal symbols. And because of the star here, I can also include epsilon. So the right hand side of my production rule could be an epsilon. And we could also represent this every production rule by a two tuple, which is something like this. So I'll have S on as the first element of my tuple, and on the second element I would have what does S go to, which is ASB, and the second production rule would be S comma epsilon. So these are my two production rules that I have. So that's what defines a context-free grammar. And one thing that I want to point out here is that N intersection T is going to be empty. So my non-terminal and terminal symbols should be disjoint sets, and in our case we just had a single non-terminal symbol, but that's not necessarily the case. I could also have something like N is equal to A comma B comma C, something like this, but I would always have to give one of them to be the start symbol. So that will be my fourth element of the context-free grammar. So This is the definition of a context-free grammar, which is a four tuple, just like we had definitions for our regular expressions, just as we had our definitions for our automata, which were five tuples. Here it's a four tuple. And in the next video, we'll look at some examples of context-free grammars. I'll see you there.